Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Average Jose Sports Talk.
Sports Talk.
I'm your host, Jeremiah,
And I'm the other guy, Cullen.
and one of us has a good episode today, and the other one's probably a little bit depressed because
Yeah, you are.
what? Because the Broncos and Oregon Ducks won today, so I'm feeling good. But the Bears and University of Wyoming did not. Moment of silence, please. Anyways, yeah, I feel like nothing too crazy happened this week in sports. Except the Broncos beating the Chiefs for the first time in 8 years. So that's actually insane. But before we get
Whatever.
into how amazing that is, we have a little quiz bowl for you guys. So I never remember, but I think that I went first last time.
Couldn't tell you. I have a two-parter.
Cool. You do your two-parter, and then I'll do two questions. Hit me with it.
So, Alabama is back in the top 10
Boo.
AP ranking.
Boo.
Back in after being out first week.
Yeah.
Prior to this season, when they weren't in the top 10, when was the last time they were out of the top 10 in the AP ranking?
Is it week 2 of 2023? I feel like we've talked about this. I feel like we looked it up after they got dropped. I don't remember the year. I want to say 2012.
September 27th, 2015.
15? Really? That recent? Wow.
They lost to
Huh.
Mississippi.
Wow. That's actually kind of crazy that Mississippi knocked them out. Dang. Between Mississippi and Tennessee, they kind of struggle against those somewhat southern teams, it seems. It's crazy. Huh. Anyways, what's the two-parter?
Same season,
2015.
that's 2015 season.
Mm-hmm.
How did they end the season? Where were they
Rank-wise?
finishing that season? No, not rank-wise. End of season, what came out of the end of the season for them?
Oh, they won a championship?
They did win the national championship.
That's crazy. Huh.
They were back into the top 10 on October 3rd.
So the last time they got knocked out of the top 10, they ended up winning a championship?
Yeah, they were out of the top 10 for a week. They were back in the top 10
for a
and won a
week.
national championship.
That's crazy. I don't know if we see that this season, especially because that was a week out of the top 10. It's been 3 or 4 weeks out of the top 10 for them, and I don't know. Who are the other teams in that 2015 playoff?
It's a good question. So what are your questions?
That was my question. No, that was my question. Who are the other teams in the
No, I knew you were going to ask that, so that's what my question was.
2015? Are you sure? Oh, this is played on. Okay, so it was the 2016 championship. Then 2015 championship was Oregon versus Ohio State. Here we go. Oh, 2016 college football championship. Alabama beats Clemson 45-40. That was the same season that Clemson was 14-0 and Alabama was 13-1. Their one loss knocked them out of the top 10, and then they just won the rest of their games.
And they decided they didn't care.
That's actually kind of crazy. I wonder. Okay, here we go. So Clemson played Oklahoma, and Alabama played Michigan State. I always forget there's a time when Michigan State was good. Dang.
Not today, that's for sure.
That's crazy. 45-40. I feel like I vaguely remember that game.
I do too. Once you said it, I was like, oh, I think I remember.
I feel like I vaguely remember when Clemson was undefeated and then lost the championship. But all right. So all of mine, I always do themes for mine because it's always fun. My theme is revolving around trades and money, basically. As you guys know, trade deadline was yesterday, and so we saw a lot of crazy trades. So, first question. Joshua Javon Johnson, I think I said the middle name right, holds the record for player who's played on the most NFL teams. How many teams did he play for?
32.
That'd be insane. No, it's just 14. It's just 14.
Oh, only 14? That's not even half.
No, I know. I was like, that's. But when you think about it, you're like, that's actually. It's like I feel like the NBA is different. Where like the NBA, you see players go everywhere, but like with the NFL, it's like typically you'll play for like a max of like 3 or 4 teams in your career. What is crazy though is he played for 14 teams. He was a quarterback,
Yeah. I
which I
mean,
feel like you see that the most is quarterbacks getting traded.
uh, Fitzpatrick. What's his first name?
Ryan.
Ryan. He played for a lot of teams.
Well, him, Tim Tebow bounced around a little bit. Um, the whole group of like Trevor Simeon, basically all the Broncos like quarterbacks that they had for like that like 3 year stint where it was like all those like white dudes who were like 6 feet tall. Was it Trevor Simeon, Drew Lock? I feel like there's a third one, but a lot of those quarterbacks typically get moved around. Jameis Winston's been moved around a bit. Marcus Mariota's been moved around a bit, so it's not
If you're not a
surprising.
starting
But
QB, you move around a ton.
yeah, because teams are always trying to find a good spot for you. But
Ryan Fitzpatrick played for 9 different teams.
dang, so he was kind of close to the record. It's
He's
crazy.
1 day younger than my mom.
Huh.
He was born November 24th of 82.
Shout out to your mom's birthday this
Shout
month.
out to my mom's birthday. That's crazy. I didn't
That is
know that.
wild. All right. So since you did a two-parter, I'll do my second one.
No.
Uh, what team has the most cap space as of the 28th? So 3 days ago.
Chicago Bears.
They're projected the most cap space for next year, and they're second on the list.
Damn.
The 49ers have the most cap space
How?
with $40,000 left over in their cap.
They're paying like they have like 3 positions where they're the highest paid people
Yeah.
on that position.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've got to be just like funneling money in from someone because there's no
Yeah.
way.
I'll have to let me see if I can find um, NFL cap space. So this is via overthecap.com. 49ers have 39,257,460 left over. Their active spending is 167,743. Wait, no, 167 million. Sorry.
I was like,
Yeah,
that's nothing.
I'm so
I was like,
dumb.
what are they doing?
I'm so dumb. Their cap space is 40 million left over. My bad. Their active spending is 168 million if you round up. But
If
and
I'm
then
gonna be completely honest, I don't understand how cap space and like all that stuff works because it just doesn't make sense to me.
so you have like a base salary cap. So every team, I want to say every team has the same. I know.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to
I
be
think
the
it's like
same.
baseball where it varies by team. So you have teams like the Yankees who have like a who have like a salary cap of like 2 billion or something, and then you have teams like the Dodgers or like the Detroit Tigers who have a cap of like $10.
$10.
But so yeah, so the base salary cap for this year is 224 million. So that's what max you can spend on your team. Um, so the 49ers have spent 167 of that with about an extra 30 million for dead money, which I don't quite understand dead money. But yeah, so they have about 40 million left over to spend. But for 2024, the cap is going to go up to 256 million, and the Bears have the most cap space at 110 million.
Yeah, I knew that, and I thought that we had a lot this season since we don't pay anyone.
Let's see where you're at. The Broncos are at the bottom of the list with a cap space of 1 million.
1 million? Oh well, aren't they paying Russ like
They're paying Russ like a ridiculous
shit
amount.
ton? Like,
Yeah. The Bears, according to this, I just saw it, with 3 million left.
we're not paying anyone. Where's the money?
Let me see. Let's start looking up. Let's look into this. Let's do a deep dive for you guys.
Our biggest problem is that we don't pay anyone, and that's why everyone was getting off the team. Who are we paying?
Who do you think the highest paid player is?
I genuinely don't know. Everyone's on like rookie contracts.
DJ Moore's making 20 million.
I guess that makes sense just because he came from Carolina and he's a veteran.
With a workout bonus of 200,000, which I don't really know. what that
If
is.
he just works out really hard, they pay him more. They
Apparently.
just watch him and are like, got a big sweat today.
Eddie Jackson, 13 million.
That makes sense. He's a veteran.
Is it? Oh, weird. And then it drops to 2 and then 9. So is he actually the highest paid? What was it? About 20 million? Darnell Wright, 750,000.
He's a rookie.
Weird. Let's see what Fields is getting paid though.
$5.
$1 million
Yeah.
with a bonus of 2 million
If they win the Super Bowl.
and a roster bonus of 1 million.
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know. The bonuses are different depending on positions and stuff, but his cap number with all his bonuses is about 5 million. So when you take bonuses into account, he's worth about 5 million. So yeah, that's crazy. And then you have like dead money too, which I think comes out of like cutting and trading players and stuff like that. But offense is worth 93 million and defense is worth 95 million and special teams is worth 6 million for the Bears.
And we are still terrible.
Now I'm curious about what Russell Wilson's contract is. Russell Wilson, 8 million. With a bonus of 14 million, so 22 million.
With a bonus of 100 million.
Right. Why is his bonus so high? And then Sutton's number 2. Sutton and Simmons are both getting paid 14 million, but Sutton has a extra 100,000 on his bonus.
Extra 100,000?
Oh, this is disgusting. Simmons has a 14 million base salary with a 3,750,000 bonus, but his guaranteed salary, so like if he got injured or whatever, 2 million.
2 million.
Which means if the dude breaks his leg, he's fighting for his life to keep playing, so he can keep fit. But then you have people like Sutton who are getting paid 14 million with a guaranteed of 14 million.
Yeah, that's the crazy.
Oh my
thing.
gosh, Josie Jewell, 4.5 million guaranteed salary, 0.
Damn.
Which means if he gets hurt, this dude's out of a job.
I'm just like, yeah, whatever, man. Hope you have a good life.
Like, Josie, your arm had to get amputated. Take this season. No, come. No.
Still got it, coach.
Takes
Your
like a
bone is sticking out. No one can touch you. That's a risk factor.
You have a collapsed lung. Get in the locker. No, coach. I've got another one, don't I?
Got 2 lungs for a reason.
Yeah, the Broncos offense 114 million, defense 83 million.
That's less than the Bears.
All right, let's do one more because it's kind of fun to see all this. I want to see what the 49ers are because for them to have like the most cap space, what are they like paying dudes?
Most cap space by a lot.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Their highest capped player is Trent Williams. His salary, his salary is $1 million with a bonus of 10 or of 11 million. And a roster bonus per game of $750,000 and a workout bonus of 100,000. So it seems like the way that they do it, which is kind of smart, is they don't give them a big base salary, but then they stack all these bonuses. So then they're like, yeah, like if you get 5 sacks, we'll give you extra money. Like, which is actually kind of
incentivize them.
Great incentive. Christian McCaffrey is only getting paid $1 million with a bonus of $2 million and a workout bonus of $200,000 and a guaranteed salary of 0.
Wow.
If McCaffrey goes down, he doesn't get paid. Yeah, these are kind of crazy.
That's actually, I don't know.
Wasn't it Nick Bosa that signed like the huge contract or something?
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe it doesn't go into effect until like next season or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering because Nick Bosa's contract is $1 million with a 10 million bonus and then a guaranteed $1 million. So I don't know.
I feel like it was like in the 20s, wasn't it?
I thought it was too, yeah. But yeah, their highest capped player is Trent Williams at 12.5 million.
Let's see. Oh my, no, it was not.
70. Oh my
It was not in
gosh.
the 20s.
So what does their 2024 season look like? Let's see. 2024.
170
Oh, but
million over
that's
5
spread out over
years,
5 years.
which is still a lot of money.
Yeah, his salary then is
34 million.
his salary for 2024 is $1 million. So when does it take effect? Oh, here it is. 2026, $22 million. So they must do 2027, $32 million. In 2028, the only people on their roster are Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave. Nick Bosa at $33.5 million with a $3 million bonus, $500,000 per game bonus, $5 million other bonuses for his cap number of $42 million. And then Javon Hargrave, who doesn't have a salary, just has a bonus of $1 million, and his cap number is 0.
That is insane.
Yeah, they have Bosa all the way out to 2023.
29.
2023. 2030 they have him with no numbers, but 2029 they have him for a $5 million bonus. So that must be the end of
Yeah,
his.
this says Nick Bosa is under contract through 2029.
Yeah. So this is
With an
interesting.
estimated 88 million in guarantees.
Yeah. So this is interesting how they structured it because like I said, 24 1 million, 25 1 million, 26 22 million, 27 32, and then 28 33, and then 29 just some bonuses. So I wonder if they did like a few light years to start to like make up for their, because like for those first couple years they're like, yeah, we don't really know what our cap, or we know like our cap space is like kind of this, but then for like 27 they were like, all right, we'll build our cap space around you, so like you're the
We're
32.
gonna build our team around our defense. Around
Bro,
our one
Trent
defensive.
Williams in 2026 has a salary of 32 million.
What?
Trent Williams in 2026 will have a salary of 32 million.
Oh, that's light work. I make that in a week.
Already for 2026, their defense is making $101 million, and it's between like two dudes. So that's crazy. All right, give me your third one.
Oh, I forgot what we were doing.
I know we were looking at this is
Should
so
we just
fun.
end the episode?
I could look at let's do a special episode of looking at cap space for every team.
That's what we should do. Stop talking about team takes and all this. We just have special episodes where we just talk about just random
We
things
should
that
have
we
done
just
we should have
blabber
done a
about.
trade deadline episode this week. Dang.
Oh, we should have, yeah. I will mention at least one
Good.
that I know of. I almost just straight up just gave you the answer because I forgot how to word it.
Nice.
How many consecutive games has Georgia won? This says regular season,
Not playoff.
consecutive, no losses, straight winning for Georgia.
They're 8-0 right now. I'm trying to think. They didn't go undefeated last season. I'm trying to think. That Alabama loss was in the regular season. Right, because Georgia. No, did Alabama win the championship?
No, they weren't in the championship.
Oh no, Alabama didn't win the championship. Then who was it? Was it just a bowl game? Why did I? They played Alabama and Georgia played twice. One Georgia won, one Georgia lost.
I don't know. I don't have a schedule or anything. I have numbers.
Okay, I'm just gonna say 15.
34.
34 in a row?
Can you guess when the streak started? And I mean, like, at least month. You could guess a day in that month and also the year.
So it would have been 26 games prior to this season. I don't know how long college season goes. I want to
I
say,
have no idea.
let's say 2020 October 2020.
November 21st of 2020.
Dang, November.
Day after my birthday. Almost exactly 3 years ago.
That's crazy. All right. Yeah. Yeah, 20. Weird. So here's the so the season I think I was thinking of was 2 years ago. That's crazy. So it was December 4th, 2021. Alabama beat Georgia. And then in the championship of that same season, Georgia beat Alabama. They got it back. I remember them like.
Okay.
So wait, how's that streak active then? If Alabama beat Georgia in 2021.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at the numbers from fox5atlanta.com. I mean, they're pretty reliable.
Well, they're lying because in the 2021 season, Georgia was 12-1.
I mean,
That's weird. Okay, your question doesn't count. It's null and void. All right,
I
final
just
question.
go off of the stats, dog.
What is the league minimum for an NFL player to earn? It changed this year. I'll tell you. I'll give you a hint, I guess. Last season, actually, you give
Hold
me your
on.
you
Hold
give me your
on.
guess first. You give
No,
me your
hold
guess
on.
first.
I want to say something because I continued looking. This one is from the Georgia Dogs. Okay. This has 35 consecutive regular home season victories.
Home rate, regular home.
No, 35 consecutive regular season victories.
Oh yeah, now I see it.
Starting November 21st of 2020.
What the heck then? What is that Alabama game?
A bowl game, maybe? I feel like their season's done in December. I feel like that has to be a bowl game.
Ball season end. No, it says duration for 2023 is till December 9th, and that Alabama game was like the 6th, I think.
Haven't they added games since then, though?
Have they? Let's see. College football schedule. It's 2021 season. Yeah, the regular season began August 28th and ended December 11th, 2021.
This has championships this season for December 1st through the 2nd. This season.
Championship through. Sorry, you said championships?
Yeah, the Conference USA Championship, Pac-12 Championship, Big Ten Championship, Dr. Pepper Big 12, MAC, Mountain West.
Well, I'm just because this. So when I look at the Georgia Alabama December 4th game, it just says it's a normal game. It doesn't say anything about like a bowl game or anything. And normally they say like it's a championship, unless that was the conference championship, unless that was like the SEC championship. Let's see, SEC championship. Yeah, I think that was the SEC championship. Yep, it was for the SEC title. Okay, that's the reason then why.
And that's the last
It doesn't
time
count.
that, not last time, but, or I guess it was last. They're on a 24 total game win streak since that game.
Since that one, that
but
makes
that's
sense.
not a, since it wasn't a regular season. They're on 34 consecutive regular season wins.
Which in my opinion, I think that's the dumbest way to do it because it's like, oh yeah, like good job, you guys won in the regular season. You lost the title, but like, hey, you can win the other games. I will say though, because they won the championship that same season that they lost the title, it's like that matters more. So I don't know. Also, I could see the argument that the college championship doesn't matter at all because it's only 4 teams and it's all based off of a poll.
Even
So,
a little bit.
That's funny. That'd be like being like, yeah, man, we have the longest active streak of winning a single the week 2 game of the regular season. We've always won our week 2 games. We've lost every Super Bowl we've been in, but we've won our week 2 games. So, yeah.
We have the longest active streak of winning on Tuesdays when it's above 90 degrees. Oh,
Yeah,
how many
so
games have you done that? One, but we're the
one.
only one that's done it.
That's I don't know. That's just like that's got the same sting of like what was it the Patriots when they went undefeated and then lost the Super Bowl. It's like cool. It looks impressive, but you lost the one game that you probably want to win.
That's also a stat that I used against you, and you didn't get it.
Anyways, answer my question. I'm not saying it again, so you just gotta guess at this point.
I forgot what it was at this point.
Tough.
Was it Texans?
What's the league minimum for an NFL player to earn?
Oh, I feel like I know this one.
They just changed it this year. They updated it
Oh,
this
well,
season.
then I don't know.
Well, give me your guess.
I'm
I'll give you.
hoping it went up this season and
It
not
did.
down.
It went up.
Okay. So I have a base. I'm gonna say 500,000.
750,000.
I almost guessed that.
Those
That's
rookies that when I was
insane.
reading through the thing, I was like, oh, he makes 750,000. I about said, oh, he makes the league minimum, and then I was like, wait, no, I have a question about that.
I almost said
Yeah.
750,000, but I was like, no, that seems kind of high.
Right? No, it was. I want to say it was like 705,000 last season, so it went up to 750.
Wow, yeah, I thought it was 150,000.
No, it is almost a million. You're
I
almost
could have swore
guaranteed
there was a
$1
punter
million.
that I could have swore punters got like 150,000, and I was
Because I
like,
was gonna
oh
do one of my
wow, they're
questions. I
making
was like, "Oh, what's the lowest paid player in the NFL?" And I was like, "Well, the lowest they could get paid is 750,000. So there's about like 30 rookies getting paid that right now." I was like, "Dude,
I think there's 30 rookies.
imagine like getting out, but imagine like graduating, like getting out of college, and you're just getting paid almost $1 million right off the bat, guaranteed almost $1 million. You could probably be getting paid more. I mean, I don't know what like Bryce Young is getting paid.
Probably like $50 a dinner.
He signed a 4-year contract with an average annual salary of 9 million to win one game this season.
It wasn't even him that did it; it was the kicker.
This man is getting paid almost $10 million to just lose every game.
Oh wow.
That's crazy. Dang. So that was our quiz bowl, and I think that's the first time I've won. At least the first time I've won in a while. So I had a great weekend because the Broncos beat the Chiefs for the first time in 8 years.
They finally beat off the Chiefs.
Whoa. Yeah. I mean, going into this, I had a feeling. Just I talked about it last week where the Broncos had a great defensive showing against the Chiefs. The Chiefs' offense has not been too cracked this season. Like,
You know,
what? What?
your thing paused again. I thought I thought it was
Oh,
done.
yeah, my internet connection is being weird. I don't know. But anyways, Chiefs defense or Chiefs offense has not been that crazy good. Their defense has been pretty solid this season just because of is it Chris Johnson? He's
Jones.
Chris Jones. Great pass rusher. So I mean, you know.
Russell
And
Wilson looked terrible.
yeah, I mean Russell Wilson got sacked 6 times. So they were putting good pressure on him.
114
I think what really won it for them though is Chiefs could not stop Broncos rushing. Like the Broncos were running it down their throat that entire game. And I think that's key is if the Broncos could get a good rushing game going and not have to use Russell Wilson, we can win.
I'm surprised the Chiefs haven't built up their defense because their offense has been like really solid for a while
Mhm.
now, but they're not really doing anything defensive wise.
Yeah, their offense has been solid for the past like 3 or 4 years easily. Like and in those years like yeah, like their receiver core kind of changes quite a bit. Um like Tyreek at one point, they had Juju at one point. Like that's where they're really struggling offensively is their receiver rotation is just not
Finding a receiver.
yeah, they can't get anyone to stick. But besides that, it's like why do you not build up your defense? Because if you can build up your defense too, so that your receiver doesn't matter as much, so that like, okay, Patrick Mahomes has 10 receivers to pick from, but if he can just put up 2-3 touchdowns like he can consistently do, and their defense can hold teams to 1 touchdown, then it's like you're guaranteed a win week in, week out. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's where they're struggling. I also, going into this game when they were like, Patrick Mahomes has the flu, I was because before that I was like, all right, I'm feeling about 70% certain we can win this game. Like the Broncos are, this is it right here. They're doing it this game. And then like the Chiefs do not have a good pass offense, as good of a pass offense this year as they normally do. That's what's been killing us this season is pass offense. The Chiefs have like they haven't had a good run offense in like a few years now since before
I couldn't
Patrick
even
Mahomes'
tell
time.
you who their running back is.
They had that stud running back like before Mahomes, and he was actually fun to watch. I don't remember who it was, but so I was like, cool. Defensively, we've got them. Offensively, it'll be a struggle for sure. But as long as Russell Wilson doesn't attempt more than 25 passes, I think we're safe. And you can see through 19, and we're good. Honestly,
Got a little close.
I'm kind of surprised that he 12 of 19 for 114 yards and 3 touchdowns, and his QBR is only 45. Like
He got sacked 6 times.
a quarter, yeah, okay, that's fair. But a quarter of his completions ended in a touchdown.
That is pretty crazy.
That is
I
kind of
want to say he had like a 50-yarder to Judy. I want to say that might have been last week. I have
I think it
Judy
was last
on
week.
my fantasy team, and he was on the bench. So
Nice.
no, Judy had 2 receptions for 50 receiving yards and a reception touchdown.
Oh, so it might have.
So he did have a long. I don't know how long it was, but it had to have been over 25
Pretty good.
yards.
So yeah, and then I mean, I don't know if it was just the Broncos doing everything right. I don't know if it was Mahomes just having a cold in his head and not thinking straight. I don't know what it was, but the Chiefs had 5 turnovers, and 2 of those were interceptions by Mahomes. I don't remember who it was, but the dude he threw it to, they said that he like has picked off Mahomes like 5 times in his career. Which I was like, that's impressive.
Pros cut his number.
So yeah, Broncos were looking amazing. I don't think this is going to speak anything for the rest of our season, though. I think this is just like a cool. We beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a off week right when we were starting to figure things out. It just lined up beautifully for it to happen. I will say that it was insane that the Broncos came out and they're like, we're not partaking in any trades this season. We're happy with who we have. And I was like, you guys beat the Chiefs and you guys think that you have the team like what? Like
You beat the hurting Chiefs.
do you not remember the Dolphins game a few weeks back? Like no,
Remember when
go
you lost by 50 points.
Yeah, so I feel like we lose the rest of our games just because we're like, we beat the Chiefs. We're best in our division, best in our conference, best in the league. No one's taking us down, and then we just lose the rest of our season. So,
It's
but
not
hey,
even like they really had a good game. Russell Wilson had
No,
12
yeah.
completions, 6 sacks, like
yeah,
3
it was-
touchdowns with that few completions is
that is kind of nuts.
impressive, but like it wasn't anything stellar.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at Mahomes, he got sacked 3 times, but I'm pretty sure like 2, if not all 3 of those came like on the last drive when the Broncos just put huge pressure on him there. They just got back there. I know they sacked him twice in a row on that drive. I don't know if there's a third one, but yeah, they were hammering him right there at the end. But I'll take the win, and I'm happy about it, and don't care what the rest of the season holds because we beat the Chiefs.
I was happy
and
about
the
it.
curse is
because
over.
The guy I was playing had Mahomes, and
Oh.
Mahomes getting 27 fantasy points really got me.
That's disgusting.
Got me my dub. So
That's gross. Also this week, the University of Oregon beat Utah. That was a game I was a little nervous for just because of Utah's defense, and
Utah been slacking.
they kind of have been lately. Oregon won 35-6. I wasn't surprised about the Utah side of the score. I don't think Utah's put up more than like 15 points this season. Their
Right,
offense is
all been defense for them.
Yeah. But I will say this was a very impressive just challenge for Oregon just because we haven't played like a super tough defense like Utah's been for teams. Our hardest game obviously was Washington, and we lost that. A lot of that's just because of some coaching decisions, not
Not
going for
taking a
field
field
goals.
goal.
But to be able to just still put up, 2 touchdowns by Bo Nix and 248 yards against a tough defense like Utah, that feels pretty good. And to still put up 30 points on Utah. Like you said, Utah's nothing impressive lately, but it's still a good win. It's still good to know that okay, we still can compete against some tougher teams. So I know we moved up I think like a spot or two in the AP poll.
We're at
We moved up
6 now.
2. We're in 6th, so we're still right behind Washington, which kind of sucks because if it comes down to us or them in the playoffs, they'll take it because they beat us. But it's still good to keep climbing. It's just that top 4 is just not. There's no one's putting a chink in that armor. Like it's insane. So
Yeah, especially with Georgia winning
I was
35
gonna say, are you
consecutive
gonna
games.
say the consecutive game thing? Oh my gosh. But let's talk about your Bears versus Chargers. I didn't watch that game.
Okay. Cool. So we can move on to Wyoming.
So how about Wyoming versus Boise State? I didn't watch that game either. How'd they do?
News around the world.
So Kansas played. What were the Bears struggling with against the Chargers? I feel like you
Playing the
guys.
game was like one of their big things.
You said
Um,
yeah, because Baguette threw 2 interceptions. You said one was like at the point where the game was kind of already over, but the other
I
one,
love
like
the way you say his name.
Baguette.
Yeah, they just couldn't get anything moving. Very first play of the game, they received the first kick, and then they went out. I thought they were making a statement. They throw a 40-yard pass to Mooney,
Oh, okay,
who catches it,
okay.
and I'll talk about why it was BS in a second. But after a 40-yard completion, I was like, oh, they're
Feel
at
good.
least going to get
Yeah.
a field goal on this drive or something.
Right.
Then they, did nothing for 3 plays
Okay.
and punted the ball from like the 50.
Ooh.
Um, it was BS though because Mooney, after fully having the ball, had not been touched, so he stood up to run it. The ref closest to him did not blow his whistle and was running down the sideline
Which
with
that's the ref
Mooney.
that should be making the call.
That's the one that should be making call. The one across the field starts blowing his whistle, calls the play dead, and Mooney's like, "What?" So they didn't give him any extra yardage. They called it down where he caught the ball and landed on the ground, even though the ref directly next to him that can see what's happening was running with him, not blowing his whistle. So could have resulted in a touchdown, could have resulted in close enough yardage that we would have
A
got
field goal at
a
least.
field goal at least and got some points. I don't know if that one play killed the entire game or not, but it definitely did not feel good. I'm also kind of upset at the Bears, the management, because if you look, Bajan is 25 to 37. He attempted 37 passes.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
His second NFL start ever, they gave him 37 pass attempts.
Yeah.
I don't know if Justin Fields has ever had 37 pass attempts because they never. Yes, obviously they'll give him a pass play and then he'll just book it.
Or like the pass play they give him's like a screen pass.
Yeah, so like obviously I'm not saying it's all on them. Justin Fields has plenty of times where he has an open guy and he decides to run it instead.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they even give him 37 pass plays. I don't know if he
Yeah.
has that in his playbook.
What if all 37 of those were supposed to be like runs and he just audibled out of them? It's like stop changing the play.
Saw. But I'm not
Beat.
upset with Bajan. I think he's honestly pretty solid for
I mean, for
being
a rookie, dude. He's
a rookie from a Division II in
Yeah.
his second start of all time.
Yeah.
25 of 37,
What's
232 yards.
what's terrible about this is just confirming for the front office that they need to go after Alexander Allen, Division 5 quarterback, whatever his name was. There's like, oh my gosh, these
There's
sneaker
Aaron Allen.
quarterbacks, Aaron Allen, these sneaker quarterbacks are amazing. This kid is going to do wonders for the program.
This man is playing at a community college in the middle of Alaska. Like,
They're gonna show Baguette and Allen side by side, and they're gonna look the exact same. Just these two white boys from D3 schools.
yeah. Then, like I said, one interception that was like, I missed the interception. My connection cut out right then,
Oh no!
and then came back, and I was like, "What happened?" And then they're like, "There was an interception 5 minutes ago," and I was like, "What?" Okay. Um, so I don't know how bad the first one was. The second one was in trash time. Same like we talk about every single week. He was trying to make something work that
Right?
wasn't there, and it was
Yeah.
an interception.
One sack
Um,
though for the Bears. That's pretty impressive.
he does something that Fields doesn't. When the pocket starts collapsing, he
Steps
throws
up,
the ball
or
away.
he throws it away. That's right. Remember
I've seen him almost laying down, and he throws the ball away, so that way it's not a sack
Well, that's
or
what
an incomplete or
Mahomes
an
is known
interception.
for. Mahomes is really good at so like with the Broncos game, 3 sacks is insane for Mahomes. It's typically very rare to see that because he's
Yeah.
able to sense the pressure and just toss it out, whether for a completion or just to kill the ball. So
The thing with Fields is he knows he can run, and he knows how
keep it
big he
alive.
is.
Yeah.
So instead of throwing it away, he'll be like, "No, I can get out of this pocket and I can get downfield, get at least a yard or something." And in a lot of situations he can,
Mhm.
but he also averages 5 sacks a game because the pocket
Yeah.
collapses, and instead of throwing it away, he tries to break it out and run.
Right.
Overall, I picked them as winning because they're my team. I also did feel like there was a slight chance they could
I
win
feel
just
like
because the Chargers are so on and off.
if you guys had your running back room, I think it's a win. I think if you guys could have ran against the Chargers, then
They were shutting down the run.
because you didn't
We
have a good
couldn't get
running
we
back.
couldn't No, we had Foreman, who's a beast, and we had one of our other running backs in. The one that had the concussion was back in,
Probably so
and
concussed.
neither could do much. But
Dang, that's crazy. But the
um,
Cowboys,
wasn't done.
oh sorry, continue.
Fields is out next week again. They've said so.
But the Cowboys, that's
Wyoming
crazy. Did he
Cowboy.
dislocate his thumb and he's dying now?
Yeah, I mean it was his throwing hand, so it's like if it was his
He might have
non-throwing
torn
hand,
something.
I could see him being back a lot sooner. But on your throwing hand, you kind of need that to be fully
Fully.
functioning.
Well, and
So
with some dislocations, it could tear stuff up in there too when it dislocates. So he could
yeah,
have.
they showed his hand on Sunday, and his whole hand was just casted up with a hard
So he might
plastic.
have
I was
tore
like,
some
oh
ligaments or
wow.
something. He probably can't move his
So
thumb.
he's out for at least one more week. The fact that they haven't put him on IR
Is interesting for sure.
tells me that he should be back the week after next, but we'll see. University of Wyoming.
You're doing great, bud.
Um, I thought everyone thought they were
I
going to really beat
thought
Boise State.
yeah.
They had at least a -7 on them. They had 62% chance of beating Boise State or something.
That's crazy.
Boise State going in was what, 3-4, I want to say.
Something like that.
Wyoming was 5-2, only losing to number 3 Texas and
Boise
Air Force that was
State
undefeated.
is 4-4 right now, so they're three
So
and
yeah.
four going in.
So yeah, everyone thought Wyoming was going to do insane, and then they just decided they didn't want to play. Lost 32-7. Um, Peasley was 50%, 10 of 20, 85 yards, 1 touchdown,
Such
1
a disgusting.
interception, and a 9.9 QBR. They
Oh my
benched him
gosh.
I want to say they benched him in the middle of a drive in the 4th quarter. I want to say.
This is
Boise
sorry.
State QB didn't do much. 12 of 15,
Yeah, I
A
mean,
good
nothing.
completion percentage,
Yeah, honestly,
127 yards.
stat line wise, it reminds me a lot of the Air Force game, where Air Force wasn't really like doing a lot of like air attacks, which is ironic. But they were just running it down Wyoming's throat, which is so weird because typically our run defense is solid. Typically, like, cool, we've got a great front line, we could just punch it right in there. And then it's when they like roll out for a pass, it's like, oh, okay, cool, they just got 40 yards on 3 straight passes and they scored. Like that's typically where it gets us. And so it's just surprising to see 2 crazy losses. I think it's our only 2 losses. Where 5 and 3 because Texas, I forget about Texas game. But where we were stopping the pass fairly well, and they were just running it right up on us. And so, I wanted to point out, I looked up Boise State's record, and Wyoming always does this. We are 5 and 3 right now, but 2 and 2 in our conference. We are terrible in our conference, so that's kind of annoying. But we're 5 and 0 for home games.
That's pretty cool.
All of our home games we win. So until
so far.
Friday.
Until Friday when we show up at the game. Yeah, we're going to the CSU game this upcoming Friday.
Reporting live from War Memorial Stadium.
We should vlog it.
Vlog it. We should do an Instagram live for everyone.
And then we can like put clips of it into next week's episode.
We should vlog it. That'd be sweet. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to win. Whether they actually want to play is a different thing. Next week we might be doing a silent episode because my voice will probably be gone. Oh
yeah,
no, because I won't be able to speak.
I
get loud.
I get loud.
Especially if I'm gonna be drinking, I'm gonna be just like
currently CSU is 3 and 5. So both teams have lost their last 2 games. CSU
lost to Boise.
Yeah, CSU lost to Boise. So Air Force is 5 and 0 in conference and 8 and 0 overall. That's just insane. Who are they playing? Like, who have they beaten? Let's see who they've beaten this season to see if it's impressive whatsoever.
Well, they beat Wyoming.
They beat CSU. They beat Navy. They beat Wyoming, San Diego State, San Jose State, Utah State, Sam Houston, and Robert Morris. So a few of those
are one good team.
Yeah, a few of those are like San Diego State's been good at one point. Like
Wyoming is their biggest team, I would say, that they beat, honestly.
And it was 34-7. It was a single possession win. The rest of their season, they play Army, Hawaii, UNLV, and then Boise State.
So yeah, they have an undefeated season ahead of them.
Yeah, they could get into the top 4 just because they have the best schedule ever. Gosh, that's crazy.
It's insane.
I'm kind of curious now. What college team has the easiest schedule? Who has the hardest and the easiest? I don't want to read all this. Toughest overall Power 5 schedule. Easiest overall Power 5 schedule is Boston College.
No one.
Easiest Power 5 non-conference is Michigan. Michigan has had a super easy schedule.
Have they played a top 25 team?
Yeah, they just played. They beat someone like a week or so ago.
About a week ago.
I don't want to say Penn State. I think they beat Penn State. Air Force hasn't received nearly the love it deserves under Troy Calhoun after posting at least 10 wins in each of its past 3 full seasons. Their schedule will be interesting, to say the least. They play 3 Friday games, and only once in the last 6 weeks of the season will they play a true home game. Their stadium's undergoing renovations, so their game against Army will be played at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
That's honestly pretty cool.
That's actually really cool. Dang.
What day is that?
November 4th.
What are you doing Saturday? Just drive back up with Damien.
Yeah, for real. So
I guess down.
They're They have an interesting schedule as well. A lot of people are saying not an easier, hard schedule, just an interesting one, which is fair when you look at it. Like all these games, you're like, these teams seem like they'd be the same level as Air Force, but like they're not. I don't know. I feel like it's just a how are you feeling today kind of game. But
Yeah.
how do you think about CSU this week? Do you think that Wyoming can take them? I think we're a 7-point favorite. So
we should be able to beat them pretty well, but
let's try and
it's
get
still
in a
Wyoming that we're talking about.
let's try and get in a fight at the game so we can vlog that for the
I thought you
video.
were gonna say let's try to get an interview with like a player,
Oh,
and then you said a fight, and I was like, oh wow.
yeah, mine's better. But did you have anything else you want to say about it?
I hate it here.
Cool. So we had some crazy upsets in college football because Kansas, unranked Kansas, beat number 6 Oklahoma 38-33.
They were brushing the top 5 and they lost.
That is tough. What's kind of crazy is Oklahoma only dropped like 4 spots. You would think that like losing to an unranked team that they would like be way lower, but Oklahoma's now number 10. Kansas is ranked. Yeah, that's true. Kansas is ranked at number 22 now. They worked their way in. I believe Air Force is number 17 right now. Every time I see that, I'm just like, that could have been the Cowboys.
Should have been the Cowboys, yeah.
But I didn't really watch the game. I just got the alerts on it. But it was just a very back-to-back game from what I like was looking at. I mean, Kansas took the lead.
I caught the very end because I think your dad texted us about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kansas took the lead with 55 seconds left. That's just crazy. So, yeah.
Damn.
Arizona beat Oregon State 27-24. That is unranked Arizona beat number 11. Oregon State. Oregon State dropped to number 16, and Arizona got 6 votes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a scam. They were tied 10-10 at half, though, so it was, again, another very close, tough matchup. But Arizona outscored them 17-14 in the second half and took the W home.
Ate that W.
Ate it. The Bengals beat the 49ers 31-17. 49ers are now
they did.
5-3. You said you want to talk about this one a little bit. What you got on your mind?
49ers are the
whoa, hey, stop. Whoa.
Okay.
Breathe.
Okay, they're frauds. They're frauds. They started out 5-0. Everyone was hyping them up. And now they're 5-3 trash can teams.
3 in a row too. Like they lost their last 3 games.
That's what it meant when they started 5-0. Yeah.
Yeah, like they have not won a game since they were 5-0.
Yeah, because they started 5-0. Now they're 5-3.
Yeah, 3 in a row. They beat the Cowboys and they just peaked.
That was their Super Bowl.
It really was. I do think it's funny though that they're like they lost 3 in a row and they're like, all right, let's use this cap space we have.
Yeah, I thought it was insane. I have the Bengals as my fantasy AFC team. So there was at one time I was walking in Walmart, got an alert, and it was like Joe Burrow threw a pass to this guy for a touchdown. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Not even a full minute later, it was like, oh yeah, he ran it in for a touchdown. It's like, how is this game going that they already had the ball back and scored a touchdown?
Yeah, that's
Burrow was 28 of 32, only 4 incompletions,
which
is crazy. He'd only have 283 yards, but that's still an average of 10 for completions, I guess, not all around, but 3 touchdowns. Bengals are looking decent. They're looking better than they did definitely at the start of the season.
They definitely gave people a scare for that start of the season.
Yeah, people almost had to stop being Bengals fans after they went to the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. But
Joe Burrow, QBR of 89.3 for that game.
That's insane.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's really all I had to say. 49ers are frauds. I thought they were overhyped, and they lost. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't hate them. I just
Do you think that following these trades that the 49ers will have it figured out? Like, do you think acquiring what's his face that they'll
I
see a
don't think that was enough at all. I mean, they already had an insane defense, and they were winning 5 games in a row. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think. I think it'll help. Obviously, I don't think it's like gonna negatively affect them, but I think they already had a stellar defense,
Yeah,
and they just weren't getting the things worked out like they needed to. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting game. I mean, this is a point for both these teams where a loss and a win like this, it's crazy because it's kinda like you see, like, 49ers were starting at the top, and then they've slowly been, like, doing good, and then, like, these past couple weeks, they've been going down, and right at that cross point is where we're seeing the Bengals are hitting them as they're on their way up, and yeah, I mean, I think the Bengals, if they continue doing what they've been doing these past couple weeks, I do think we see the Bengals making a good fight and a good argument for a Super Bowl run this season. But I don't know. It's such, like we've said, it's such a weird season, and it's anybody's. I mean, I don't feel super confident in the Eagles taking a ring this season. They're probably my top team for who's probably going to win the Super Bowl. But even then, I'm just like, I could see the Dolphins having a great run and surprising. I could see the Chiefs figuring it out. I could see the Ravens figuring it. Like,
the
there's so many.
Bears.
There's about 30 teams that have a chance.
The other two teams.
Bears and Broncos.
No, Panthers and the Cardinals have a better chance than the Bears and
I do
Broncos
feel
do.
like the Cardinals. I don't know about the chance at like a Super Bowl, but I feel like the Cardinals have a chance to ruin a lot of team seasons with just the way they've been playing.
They don't have Dobbs anymore. Vikings have Dobbs.
Oh yeah, I forgot they traded. Why would you get rid of your quarterback who's been putting up like 500 yards a game? That was insane. Yeah, never mind. Cardinals route. There's about
Going
29
into this
teams.
week, Dobbs was not. No one had Dobbs. The second Kirk Cousins went out, and they were going and they traded for Dobbs, I went to pick him up. He's not there anymore. I don't know who picked him up, but they legit picked him up the exact moment he got traded to the Vikings.
That's crazy, dude.
I was gonna take him. I wanted Dobbs.
Those are the people who are too obsessed with fantasy football and study it way too much.
I was so mad. Now I have like
Thanks.
Sam Howell, I'm pretty sure. I don't have a
Oh
quarterback.
gosh. Anyways, and as usual, we have our weekly "When Will the Cowboys Disappoint" tracker, and it
Yep.
was not this week. They beat the Rams 43-20. I did not think it was going to be that big of a win.
Me neither.
Big part of it, Cowboys defense showed up, but Dak Prescott also showed up. 25 of 31 for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns. Threw an interception, but it's expected. 4
It's Dak.
touchdowns though. That's actually crazy. So I don't know, dude. Cowboys are 5-2 right now. Like, that's insane. They play the Eagles this upcoming week. I don't know. I think the Eagles take it, but if the defense can do what they've been doing, it's going to be a heck of a game for sure. Like, the Cowboys defense is honestly one of the better defenses, and so when they're performing at their top capacity, so I think this would be a good test for the Eagles to see how they do against a studded defense like the Cowboys have when they want to play. Um, I think the Eagles still end up taking it, but I think it'll be a good game if the Cowboys decide to play.
I think it'll be a tie.
I swear, if it comes out as a tie,
You owe me money.
But the MLB World Series is underway. The Rangers currently lead the Diamondbacks 2-1. I think the next game's like tonight or something. I don't know.
Last night, I checked in on it. The Rangers were up 5-0 in the bottom of the second.
Jeez.
They scored 5 runs at the top of the second.
Well, yeah, they were down like 6-2 in like the top of like the ninth, I want to say, on like the first game, and then they won that like, oh no, they're down 5-3, I think, and then they won that 6-5 in like the 11th inning. So
11th inning.
yeah, it's insane, but been a pretty good World Series so far, I'd say. Champions
They
League.
won 11-7 last night.
It's been an okay World Series, I'd say. The Champions League is still underway. Match day 3 happened, and Bayern, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Feyenoord, PSG, and Manchester City and Barcelona all are leading their groups, with Real Sociedad and Inter Milan tied for the lead in their group. I don't. I think like it's like 10 matches they play. Maybe that's too much. I don't remember, but it's looking pretty good. NBA is also underway. Heck yeah! Nuggets are 4-0 to start, with the Mavericks right behind them at 3-0. The what's it? Celtics. The Celtics.
The Celtics
are leading the East at 3-0. The Bucks lost to the Hawks 127-110, and Damian Lillard only had 6 points in that game. So
he was on the Bucks now.
Yeah, so it seems like if he's not like performing, then they're gonna struggle, which makes sense because he's their point guard, so like he's to. But the in-season tournament does begin this Friday, with a few teams kicking that off: Grizzlies, Blazers, Knicks, Bucks.
Tournament?
Mm-hmm.
What tournament?
This is the first season that they're doing an in-season tournament. Where in the middle of the season they're having like a tournament. Basically, it's like the finals, but in like the middle of the season. It's so like people pay attention because like they lose viewers around like the middle of the season, around like this time really. Basically until the All-Star break, they don't have a lot of viewers because it's 82 games. So people are like, cool, I can miss about 60 of those and still be fine.
I can catch the end of the season when things matter.
So yeah, the in-season tournament, I think like you get a trophy. I don't know if you get anything like that benefits you for like the playoffs. I think you just get like a neat little trophy. So basically they're going to have 2 championships in the middle of the season with only one of them really mattering.
Sounds complicated. I probably won't pay attention at all.
Same, but thought I'd mention it for people who wanted to watch. But the thing we've been excited to talk about all day, the NFL trade deadline was yesterday.
Woo, woo, woo.
And we've got some stuff to say about it.
No, we don't.
So first off, I've got the NFL's official website posted trade grades for different teams.
Do you want to talk about the Broncos trades?
Cool. Yeah, we can.
You can start off with that.
Yeah, so the Broncos didn't make any trades. Yeah, that's it. So the NFL trade deadline. All right. So I figured we'd look at these trade grades and see if we agree with them. Basically, like our hot takes, we're going to just, these trade grades fair, or is it kind of like, I don't think it's going to make too big of a difference for the team. So,
yeah.
Top trade grade, 49ers with a grade of A- for getting Chase Young.
That was a steal for them.
Because do you remember what pick they gave up for it?
3rd round.
A 3rd round pick.
The YouTuber that I watch, MMG, shout out MMG. He on Madden you can, have your whole team and then like do trade offers, and then it tells you on the top if it was worth it or not, or if they wanted to make that trade. So with a lot of the trades that happened, he did the exact trade in Madden. And when he offered a 3rd round pick for Chase Young, the bar was like red very little, and it was like, no, we're gonna need a lot more for this. And
That's
he said
crazy.
something like, here's this just so you guys know or whatever. And I was like, that's
crazy.
Insane.
It does say here, I didn't realize this, that Chase Young has played in double-digit games just once in his career in 2020. Because he just gets injured a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
But that's also the same year he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. But when he's healthy, he currently ranks 5th in the NFL with 40 QB pressures this season. And he's only missed 1 game.
He's a big dude.
Yeah. So I think having him on, because he's a defensive end, so having him on one side and Nick Bosa on the other side is going to be terrifying. It's like, what was it? I think it was the Rams, right? When they got Von Miller, and who was the other pass rusher they had that was like super cracked that year?
No idea.
But it was like Von Miller on one side and then him on the other, and it was like, yeah, this is insane. So I love all the memes about it with like wrestling moves where they're just like table topping guys.
Throwing off of ladders and stuff.
Like one of them throws off the ladder, the other catches and brings him down. Yeah, so I think they'll be fun to watch. I think they definitely deserve an. I don't know why it's like an A minus. I feel weird saying A minus. I don't know what would have like improved to an A or an A plus, but considering that they did that,
give them nothing.
Yeah, for free. Considering they gave them a third round pick for that, I feel like they deserve more than an A minus. Like that's crazy. This one's crazy. Washington Commanders, who gave up Chase Young with a B minus.
I don't know how. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Did they even gain anything besides a few picks?
It says that they've received a 2024 third round pick. Because they also gave up Montez Sweat, right?
Montez Sweat to the Bears for a second round pick.
Yeah, they don't even have that listed. They listed the third round pick, not the second round pick.
Okay. Honestly, the Bears' second round pick is way better than the 49ers' third round because the Bears' second round pick is going to be like pick 34.
Yeah. I love all the memes too about that where the Bears are seeing that they got Chase Young for a third round pick and they're like, what?
Yeah,
yeah, that is kind of funny.
Yeah, because Chase Young is younger and I would argue better, but I mean he hasn't been healthy enough to really say for sure.
Dude, they gave up 2 defensive ends and all they got out of it was picks. That's just tell me you're going into a rebuild season without telling me you're going into a rebuild season.
Tell me you're throwing the season without telling me you're throwing the season.
Yeah. But we got the Bears at a C minus for getting Sweat.
Probably just because we gave up a second round pick for it.
Yeah.
We probably been higher if we gave a third round.
Bro, entering week 9, the Bears were dead last in the NFL with 10 sacks and pressure percentage of 28%.
Yeah, Montez Sweat himself is 6.5 sacks.
Yeah, that's insane. So it is kind of funny that you guys were like, get rid of the whole defense, get rid of Khalil Mack and all of them, and then you basically just traded for someone that's very similar to Khalil Mack.
The original trade rumor was we were getting Chase Young. Like the day before we signed Montez Sweat, the rumor was the Bears were looking to get Chase Young. And then I woke up yesterday and it was like, no, they got Montez Sweat. I was like, oh, that's cool. We got someone older.
He's a free agent too, so like they're gonna have to like give him a good contract if they're gonna want to keep him. They can't just take his contract over and hope that in a few years they can negotiate.
We almost lost. I want to say his name is Jalen Johnson. I know his last name is Johnson. Who's like one of the best cornerbacks in the league, but we refused to pay him, which is what I was talking about earlier. I didn't know how we had such little cap space because we're not paying anyone. He tried to negotiate a deal with us and we're just not paying him at all. So I'm hoping in the off season, because he was like, can I look for other places to be besides here? And the Bears were like, yeah, go ahead. So we almost lost him yesterday, but luckily he didn't find anyone before the
luckily
deadline.
No one wanted him.
So I'm hoping in the offseason we can pay him more and then pay Sweat enough to keep him on the team.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we just gave up a draft pick for someone that played half a season.
Yeah.
And then also lost our another cornerback.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. Within that trade, the Commanders get an A on their side of it. For getting a second round pick for basically someone that's, you could argue, not as good as Chase Young, who they got a third round pick for. So who they got a third round pick for. So yeah, the Commanders make some good moves. I feel that hopefully if they do, yeah, you're going into a rebuild and you got the picks to do it. Now it's what you're going to do with those picks that's going to determine if it was a good trade or not. Like,
Probably do more with those picks than the Bears would have,
oh yeah, with
because the
a
Bears suck at
Alexander Allen or whatever.
drafting.
All right, moving on to our next trade, we got the Vikings Cardinals trade. The Vikings received Josh Dobbs and a 7th-round pick, and they gave the Cardinals a 6th-round pick.
I think that was a good trade. I mean, obviously they needed a QB.
Yeah, and
R.I.P.
Dobbs
Kirk
is.
Cousins.
People have been kind of sleeping on Josh Dobbs too. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I think he's a great quarterback. Would I say he's like one of the best? Probably not, but he's a rookie, isn't he? Or like second year?
He's 28 years old, so I don't know. But in
Oh wow.
in 8 starts for Arizona this season, he is 62% on completion for 1,569 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And for the most part, he's pretty good at avoiding sacks too.
Yeah, I mean he's a really good quarterback.
Um,
I think that's the best QB the Vikings could have gone for.
Especially once Justin Jefferson's back too, dude. Because the Cardinals, it's
Yeah,
not the Cardinals have great like receivers or anything.
right. So yeah, I think that was a great trade. Cardinals, yes, lost their QB, but Kyler Murray's back, isn't he? I'm assuming he's back.
Yeah,
They
he's
gave away
returning
their
in the coming
QB.
weeks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that he's been. I always just thought
So
that Josh Dobbs was the franchise quarterback there. I always forget about Kyler Murray.
yeah, so they didn't really need him as much.
They're also
And
1-7 right now. Like their season's kind of done.
yeah, and then they got, a better pick because they got the 6th round.
6th round,
Um,
same year too. So they'll have 2 6th-round picks unless they traded their other one.
yeah, so I think that was a great trade. I
Yeah,
think
it's a B+
the
for the
Vikings have a
Vikings
chance.
and a B- for the Cardinals, which I feel like is pretty fair.
I think the Vikings, because before I was like, oh, their season's done. They have no chance. They're not going to get a quarterback that can help them. Like, they're just going to give up and try to get some like draft picks or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard he was going, and I was like, oh no, they're fighting. They want a chance to do.
They want to keep. I mean, yeah, they're 4-4 right now. It says that if they were to seed the playoffs, they would be 7th seed in the NFC playoff picture. So they're still fighting for a spot.
Yeah, but I think they got a good tool that will help them fight for that spot.
Could you imagine if we see Josh Dobbs become a franchise QB for the Vikings? And like,
no, don't say that.
all right, next trade we've got the Seahawks and the Giants. So the Seahawks received Leonard Williams, and they gave up a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. The Seahawks receive a B, and the Giants receive an A.
So it sounds like a good one. I don't know what that does for the Seahawks and how that affects the Jets. I think
Giants.
player trading is insane. Oh, Giants. I think player trading is insane anyways, because it's like imagine you're just like, oh yeah, have one of my good players. And it's like
a bunch of kids playing.
It must be a decent player if the other team wants it. So the fact that you're just like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, I don't really know much about. He's a
me.
defensive lineman. I don't really know much about Leonard Williams. 6'5", 302 pounds. His arms are 34 3/4. In case you're wondering.
Big dude.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because he's a lineman. So like stats wise, like what are you gonna put for? He's good at blocking. Like, I guess he's good at tackling. He wouldn't be blocking.
He's really good at blocking.
Get him
It actually
out of there.
took him to put him on the O-line.
So yeah, I couldn't tell you much. Giving up a 2nd-round pick for him, he's got to be decent, but I don't know. All right, Eagles Titans. The Eagles received safety Kevin Byard.
Yep, doing that D.
And the Titans received a safety, Terrell Edmonds, as well as a 5th and a 6th-round pick. Eagles
Those
getting
trades make even less sense to me.
Yeah, it's like a player-to-player trade plus
players.
some like position to position too. Like
yeah, it's like when the Rams and the Lions just swapped QBs. And it's like, what? You're just like, yeah, I know that QB doesn't work for you. He'll work for me though.
Byard has 27 career interceptions. Pretty solid.
Is that good? You're like, yeah, this is his first season.
So yeah, I don't know. Eagles
I like
Eagles
that one.
A minus, Titans B minus. So
I like the trade for the Eagles. I think he'll be a good fit. I think he will boost their defense.
yeah, for sure. Here we go. The Lions traded with the Browns. The Lions got Donovan Peoples-Jones, and the Browns got a 6th round pick.
That's awful.
Lions got a B plus, and the Browns got a C.
There's no way that's a C.
That's insane.
I do think that's good for the Lions.
Oh, it's because they drafted Peoples-Jones in the 6th round. They're just getting that pick back 5 years later.
So yeah, that makes sense.
That's crazy. That's funny though that the Lions have 2 people with hyphens in their name now as their receivers. But that's
what else do they have?
Amon St. Brown, Amon-Ra.
Oh yeah, I forgot they had him.
So now that's 3 solid receivers that an already pretty solid Lions QB is throwing to. Like, because Amon-Ra's been having great numbers. Josh Reynolds has been doing pretty good, and now you're tossing in Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's a pretty consistent receiver. Like, I feel like that's just insane. That's such a good.
Yeah, Lions definitely got the better for that. For sure.
Yeah,
the better end of the deal.
Let's see if there's any other good ones in here. There's a lot that happened. The Chiefs got a receiver. The Chiefs traded with the Jets. The Chiefs got McCole Hardman and a 7th round pick. The Jets got a 6th round pick and a D plus on the trade.
Yeah, I think that was last week. The funny thing is McCole Hardman was on the Chiefs last season.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, they traded him to the Jets and then got him back this season.
Yeah. Do we think that this is the
they just got him back?
Do we think this is the receiver that they've been looking for to tighten up the rest of their season?
Well, after the Broncos game, he posted on Twitter and said that game was my fault. So,
oh wow,
I don't know what he did, but apparently it wasn't good for the team.
In 2 games, oh yes, he's the one that muffed the punt that the Broncos recovered and scored on that drive.
Okay.
In 2 games, he has 3 catches for 19 yards and a muffed punt with the Chiefs so far. So it was not a good pick. That B minus for the Chiefs should go down. I think it's funny though that I one of the hot takes was like if the Jets want to have a playoff run, they need to get weapons for Zach Wilson, and then they got rid of a receiver for a 2025 6th round pick. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's not even like this season. Like that's legit a pretty far pick.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay. So the Dolphins and Bears. The Dolphins received Chase Claypool.
Then you're just reading super old ones.
Yeah, now it's no longer like recent ones, but this one's kind of funny because
what's the grade on it? Yeah,
the Dolphins got Chase Claypool and a 7th round pick. The Bears got a 6th round pick. The Dolphins got a B grade. The Bears got an F.
What? Well, it's because we gave away like high draft picks for Chase Claypool.
Yeah, it was their 2nd round pick.
Yeah, we gave away a high draft pick for him, didn't use him at all, and then gave him away for a 6th rounder.
Yeah. No, that was a rough one for sure. Let's see if there's any other outlandish ones.
Probably these.
These what?
Not
right, just got canceled. Cool. So yeah, dude, there were some crazy trades this week. I think the biggest one's the 49ers one. I mean, that's the one that made the most noise and had the most memes about it. But it'll be interesting to see if this recovers their season. I mean, 3 losses in a row, you got to fix something. So moving on, we got some next week in sports. You want to talk about some of these NFL games coming up?
Dolphins versus Chiefs, the clash of the Titans.
No, the Titans play someone else this week.
Shoot, I misread it. I think Dolphins will win because they're more consistent.
This is the game, though. This is the game where the Dolphins have to prove that they belong in the conversation for a Super Bowl. They can't be a
they proved it already.
team with a winning record. No, the teams they've beaten are like the Broncos.
They won
like
70-20 against
the
Broncos.
Broncos with the
You're
worst.
saying the Broncos
defense.
aren't the best team in the league?
I personally believe it.
Okay.
In a biased manner.
Yeah, exactly. So Dolphins are the best team in the league.
I think it'll be a good game, though.
Hey, they beat the Broncos who beat the Chiefs. So
it's true. Which they beat the Chiefs by 24-9. So that's like a 15-point win. Beat the Broncos by 50, so they beat the Chiefs by 65 then.
I like the math. Imagine.
That'd be crazy. Exactly.
Imagine 65-0. Don't even let the Chiefs score.
Yeah, I could see it.
I hope they do let them score something because I have their kicker.
And Tony. Kadarius Toney.
Nope, don't have him anymore.
Oh, you dropped him.
Yeah, I needed a wide receiver. Seahawks versus Ravens.
I think it was the Battle of the Birds.
Battle of the Birds. I think Ravens win. I think it will be not the easiest win.
I'm calling it now. That game's going into overtime. Calling it now.
Okay, well, this next one I already called a tie on. Cowboys versus Eagles. That will be a game. I think Eagles do win. I don't think the Cowboys are anything. Eagles just make things work. They make things happen. They're a good team.
Yeah, it almost seems effortless, too.
Every game, I'm like, this is so boring, but they're winning by so much. Like, it should be, they'll just, like, and then they're just
like, if you covered up the score at the bottom of the screen, you're like, what do you think the Eagles are winning by right now? And I'd watch, like, a drive. I'd be like, oh, like, they don't look like they're trying. Is it, like, a 7-point game? And they're like, no, they're up 80-0. Like,
yeah, they legit. That's why they win. They're not nervous. They're not like scrambling or like, oh, I'm so scared. They're just like, cool, yeah, I won the game. They just don't care, and that's the reason why they're doing so well.
They look like Jokic out there for the Nuggets. Just
yeah. They just want to get home to their horses. It's different.
Yeah, so.
Bills versus Bengals. I think that will be a good one.
Especially if Josh Allen plays as good as Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's been playing good.
Correct. This is also their matchup since DeMar Hamlin died on the field and then came back to life.
I'm calling it out. Someone dies in this game.
That's a terrible thing to say. You just got canceled.
Call me wrong, but I think that DraftKings needs to have a prop bet for it.
That's awful.
Could you imagine the DeMar Hamlin special?
Didn't they do something about like that?
Probably like with the numbers of like they'll score 3 touchdowns or something like that. They did something for 9/11.
They did something that got people mad at that.
Yeah, they did it for 9/11. They did.
They did do the 9/11 one. That's
because it was the Jets. It was the Jets game, and they were like air attack, and they're like, go for 400 yards. It was like Josh Allah Akbar Allen or something. Everyone's like, bro, what?
Yeah,
I did place that bet though.
Your mic lagged?
Oh, I placed the 9/11 bet.
Okay. All right, but I honestly don't know who I have in that game.
That'll be a good game.
Not have a pick.
We've got some good NFL games this week, I feel.
If Bills decide to play, I think that will be a good matchup.
Yeah. I think Bills are looking to get it back in blood. DeMar Hamlin thing. Some college games. We got, like we said, CSU versus Wyoming. Wyoming is a 7-point favorite. That'll be a game. I don't even want to say anything about it in case I jinx it.
We're going to it. That's all I have to say.
Number 14, Missouri plays number 1, Georgia. Georgia's
gonna eat.
Georgia's a 16.5 favorite.
Missouri's gonna eat.
I hope, dude. I want to see Georgia take the loss so that we don't have to do the math on this 34 win streak again. Number 13, LSU plays number 8, Alabama. Alabama's only a 4.5 favorite.
But they're back in the top 10.
Yeah, I think Alabama takes this one. I don't think LSU's been doing anything crazy this season to
yeah, I can see Alabama winning. It seems like they're finally getting
they finally figured out their quarterback stuff. And then number 5, Washington plays number 24, USC. why I put this one is Washington's only a 3-point favorite on this game, which I thought was really surprising.
I could see USC winning. Washington's a terrible team. If you lose to Washington, it's like, are you even good at football anymore? Like, should you even be a football team that people talk about? You know what I mean?
Ask if you're fine, but you're not fine. Yeah, so decent college games this weekend. Nothing too crazy, especially for like the top 4 teams. But we have a chance to see Georgia take a loss, which I'm excited for. But last week was interesting because we had like 6 different games, 6 different like picks, I think. So I'm excited. Bucks versus Bills. You called the Bills, but the Buccaneers almost had a comeback if he would have just turned around and caught the ball wide open in the end zone. I was like,
should not have been that close.
Yeah, that comeback was insane. So you got the Bills on that one. We both called the Dolphins, both called the Jets. You called the Jaguars over the Steelers. I need to stop hating on the Jaguars. I think that they're having a great season.
They're so good. I don't know why you.
They're going off this season.
Why would you pick the Steelers?
Because the Steelers have disappointed me when I pick them, and they disappoint me when I don't pick them. So at this point, I don't even know what to do anymore. And I'm picking them again this week because they play the Titans, and they're probably going to lose. So speaking of the Titans beat the Falcons. We didn't call that. We said the Falcons. Big upset.
Their QB did get injured, though. The Falcons QB did get injured. I don't know how much that affected it, but he did get injured mid-game.
Panthers beat the Texans. Neither of us saw that coming.
Nope.
Both called a Cowboys win. Both called a Vikings win, but at what cost? I called the Saints beating the Colts. You said the Colts on that one. Both called an Eagles
Colts
win.
Let me down.
Both called a Seahawks win. I called the Broncos beating the Chiefs. I should get 2 points for that. I should get 2 points for that.
You got lucky.
We both said the Ravens. You picked the Bengals beating the 49ers. That was an impressive pick. That was impressive.
After the 49ers lost their last 2 games, I was like, no, the Bengals are heating up and the 49ers are looking terrible.
That's fair. I picked the Bears as a charity pick. I felt bad not picking them, but I should have picked the Chargers because the Chargers won.
And then by that much.
And then we both picked the Lions. So you won Pick'ems this week by 1.
Yeah.
So
get better.
I know. We should start doing it with whoever wins Pick'ems gets to make the first pick for each game, and then the loser has to take the other team.
That'd be pretty cool.
You want to do that this week?
Sure. Who's Thursday?
All right. So we got Steelers Titans.
Ooh. Is Kenny Pickett even playing? Didn't he get injured?
I think he got injured, yeah. Oh. And then the Titans are using a rookie quarterback too.
Oh yeah, it's
Will Levis. Yeah. I'm not seeing.
He showed off.
He did show off. And he's playing again. Ryan Tannehill's going to be out again, it looks like. I'm not seeing anything about Pickett. Oh, hang on. Comfort has been elusive for them. I don't know. He expects to play, but he's not 100% like healed.
I'm going to go Titans. I forgot like Titans that Will Levis like destroyed.
Yeah, I feel like Titans is a good one. All right, then I'll take the Steelers. All right, Chiefs Dolphins. Who you taking?
That was a terrible game to start with because I feel like it could go either way.
Who? A lot of these Chiefs Dolphins. Who you picking?
We're doing the entire list. You have to get the other team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to alternate, but
I thought it was just that first game. I thought just first pick. I didn't realize the entire schedule.
How about for Thursday and Monday for the special games?
Okay, special games. I can go with that.
Right. Chiefs Dolphins. I'm gonna take the Dolphins. I think this is the game where they're gonna prove themselves. Chiefs just still are not figuring anything out, and if Mahomes is still sick, I've had flus that last longer than a week, so hopefully.
And I need Tyreek to just go off.
True. Seahawks Ravens.
Taking the Ravens.
I'm taking Seahawks.
Ravens. Okay.
I'll take Seahawks.
I think Ravens have a good chance. They've been looking pretty hot.
They've been looking really good. They're looking pretty solid. Yeah, I just feel like the Seahawks
play for you.
need Geno Smith to do well. That's all it is. Cardinals Browns.
I'm gonna go Browns. Their defense is pretty good these
Well,
last
the
2 weeks.
Cardinals just lost their quarterback. They don't have.
True. Forgot
They're
about that.
starting with a fresh quarterback against a good Browns defense, so I feel like Browns is the safe pick. This is gonna be a good game. Buccaneers Texans.
I feel like Bucks. Yeah,
I'm taking
almost
Buccaneers.
beat
the Bills.
The Bills. I feel like they're gonna step it up. Just practice hard this week, and then it's the Texans. They're doing okay, but they still have
still a long
QB.
way to go. Yeah, I think the Buccaneers are looking solid. They've got a good fight in them, and Texans are the favorite, but I think Buccaneers take it.
It's actually crazy.
2.5 favorite though, so
they did lose to the Panthers. We're 0-6.
Bears Saints.
Taking the Bears.
Taking the Saints. The Saints defense really went off last week, so I'm feeling that.
Well, the Bears offense is about to really go off.
I'm definitely starting the Saints defense this week.
We just got Montez Sweat against Derek Carr.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
I'm sticking with the Bears.
I'm still gonna take this.
Get on my level, boy.
It's gonna be a defensive game. I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, you stay with the Saints. That'll be a good one.
I think it'll be good. Vikings Falcons. How do we think Josh Dobbs is gonna do in his first showing?
Vikings who?
Falcons.
Oh, I heard Dolphins. I was like, no, Dolphins are playing the Chiefs.
It's a three-way matchup.
I'm still taking the Vikings.
Yeah. When does Justin Jefferson come back?
I don't think he's on IR, is he?
I haven't seen
back
him, so.
like this week.
It'd be cool. Rams Packers. I'm gonna take the Rams.
I'll also be taking the Rams because the Packers suck.
I think they lost last week because they played a tough Cowboys defense, and that's about it. Packers don't have a defense.
I was like, Packers didn't play the Cowboys.
Commanders Patriots. Now that they got rid of their 2 defensive ends.
I'm going to take the Commanders just because I need my quarterback to do really well.
Dude, this is tough. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take the Patriots.
I don't know what it is about Commanders, but both times they played the Eagles, it was a very close game, and they gave the Eagles a run for their money.
Yeah, but they've lost 2 of their defensive players. Like, 2 of their better defensive players.
I just mean it's insane that they played the Eagles twice in both games. It was like almost 40 points for both teams.
And they gave the Broncos a hard time too. That was a tough. They beat the Broncos. It was a tough game. So,
they lost to the Bears 40-20.
Colts Panthers. You think the Panthers get another win?
No, Colts are pretty good.
Taking the Colts, yeah. Giants Raiders. You think the Raiders
awful?
You think the Raiders linebacker coach is going to make a great showing today or that game? Jimmy Garoppolo is benched too. They are starting their rookie quarterback.
They benched.
I'm pretty sure they benched him. I'm pretty sure the official report is he's benched.
I genuinely have. I'm going to just say Giants just because they've had more time to be established. But
yeah, I think
that could go so many different ways.
The Raiders are in such a weird
0-0.
The Raiders are in such a weird spot. The Raiders are a 1.5 point favorite, considering that they just lost their head coach and are benching their starting quarterback. So I don't know. Eagles Cowboys. Eagles are a 3-point favorite.
I'm taking the Eagles. Like I said, they just make it look so effortlessly. Like they just do it. I don't know.
Take the Eagles. Like I said, even if the Cowboys do show up defensively, I don't think it'll be enough for the Eagles to be slowed down. So, Bills Bengals. I'll take the opposite of wherever you take on this one because I don't even. Bengals are a 2-point favorite.
That's it.
That's it.
I'll take the Bills. I think it'll be a good matchup. I think Bills need to prove something, and they're just gonna fight for it.
That's the hard part. It's kind of like the Bengals 49ers game. Bills are proving something that they need to stay on track, and the Bengals are just continuing this run to get to the top. So,
such a hard game. I could see it literally both ways. I could see it both ways by either team winning by 20. Like,
Yeah, it's insane. It's gonna be a good game. I'm excited for that one. 6:20, Mountain West time, baby. All right, and then Chargers Jets. I'll take the opposite on this one. The Chargers are only a 3-point favorite.
is this Monday night?
Monday Night Football, Chargers Jets.
Chargers Jets.
Yeah, they made this when they thought Aaron Rodgers would be playing. Okay.
I'm gonna say Chargers, but I do think Jets could give them a run.
Yeah. I gotta take the Jets. I gotta take them, based on the rules. But I'm honestly feeling good about the Jets. I feel like the Jets could do it somehow.
Like I said, I actually had to think about it for a second. I think Chargers will get that edge on them.
Mm-hmm. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6 different picks again. So
That's 3 weeks in a row.
we will hopefully have a winner, and the loser has to take the opposite on prime time. But that is all we have for you guys this week. A little bit of a longer episode because we had a lot to talk about, but we're glad you guys tuned in. So make sure to keep an eye out for next week's episode, and we will see you guys then. Peace.